Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to my YouTube site, the Cosmic Weaver Consulting. And today I'm going to talk about more about life coaching. What might the reasons be for meeting with a life coach? What are the benefits of choosing a life coach over a therapist? Well, for one thing, before I go into it, if you would please click subscribe and like my channel below. I would really appreciate that. And I will be putting segments out periodically about life coaching 2 to 3 times a week. And if anybody is interested in meeting with me as a life coach, you can go to my website at www.theweaverstarot.com. Okay, so what are the reasons that someone might see a life coach? Well, there are for lots of reasons, and first off, it's probably more practical to see a life coach than a therapist, a licensed therapist, because licensed therapists are more expensive than a life coach. That isn't always true, but it is often true. Life coach deal with more practical issues about day-to-day life. Licensed therapists tend to focus more on more serious issues going on in a person's life, whether it be depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, adjustment disorder, and quite a few people in the world that are diagnosed with, adjustment disorder. So when they have a change of jobs, they may have a hard time adjusting to changes in life. Okay, so the reasons why someone might go to a life coach: they might be feeling burned out from a job, and they just need some practical advice. Maybe they just need somebody to talk to as a sounding board, get some ideas about which way to go, how to make a plan for transitioning from one career to another, transitioning from a career to finding a career that is more in alignment with a person's desires and goals and dreams. Sometimes someone will go see a life coach because they're experiencing a general dissatisfaction with life. So a life coach, by just talking back and forth, a life coach can help a client identify what it is that's causing a dissatisfaction. And oftentimes people will come to see a life coach because there's a misalignment between what a person wants in their life and what they're actually doing day after day after day. And we all sometimes drift, what's called drifting. We get into a job that we think we're happy with, and it starts out great, for example, and then before you know it, we realize it's not paying enough, and then we do overtime, and we're putting in 50, 60 hours of overtime every single week, and then we miss time with our families and our friends, and then we're not doing our hobbies and our other interests in life, and that's called drifting. And before we know it, we're dissatisfied after 2 years, and we just misplace our goals for our life. The old saying is, well, it's not an old saying, but it should be, you live first and then you get a job. That's the way it should be. Okay, not get a job and then have a life. Another reason that people can see life coaches is because they're finding their life purpose. They find that their career has nothing to do with a meaningful life, so they want a client in this case wants more synchronicity between what they want to do as a purpose in life and what they're actually doing as a living, making a living. Sometimes people come to life coaches because they want to explore their spiritual beliefs in more detail, and that's one of the things I do. I do spiritual counseling, help a client identify their spiritual beliefs that may be transiting from one religion and they want something else, or Maybe they're just seeking more clarity within a certain set of religious beliefs that a person has, and finding more synchronicity in activities of their life with what they believe religiously. Another reason people come see coaches is because they're having difficulties in relationships. Whether it be a relationship with your siblings, or it's a relationship with friends that you've had for a long time, or other kinds of relationships, obviously, or between romantic partners or married couples. More commonly too, sometimes there's communication problems and gaps between parents and their adolescent children, and sometimes just having a third party mediator, communicator really can help bring about a more flowing communication between a parent and a child and adolescent. Sometimes people come to see a life coach because they realize some of the problems they may be having, and they just want to practice some skills, or they need help developing skills to have a better quality of life. It may be in the area of communication or listening. Other areas may be that they're stressed out all the time and they need to be more relaxed and learn how to be more present in the moment so they can enjoy relationships and friendships and interests and hobbies. Other reasons that people come see a life coach or a consultant is because they want to better manage their finances. They're having problems, budgeting their money. They may be this person may be a very young person that's just starting out in college or just post-college, and they have all these different areas now that they have to manage financially. If they're thinking about buying a house, they might want to know what to expect. An experienced life coach, older life coach, may just be the way to go. Time management is another reason why people come see life coaches. I apologize for the train going by. I wish I could plan for that better, but unfortunately, there it is, as a train. So you just bear with me for a second. And I might get a little bit closer to the camera, so to be sure to be able to hear me. Sometimes, parents might be working very hard at their jobs. Both parents are working and they have 2 or 3 kids at home, and they wish they could spend more time. So they might see a life coach to figure out how to manage time, to figure out a way to spend more time with the kids, and with their friends as well, and just make more time for hobbies and interests and sporting events and other things in their life besides work. So those are some of the things that are reasons why people see life coaches. And as you can see, it just takes someone who has experience in coaching and communication, and he has a lot of really good experience at developing an action plan and bringing about the appropriate changes to fulfill those goals. I know that having a purposeful and meaningful life is very much on a lot of people's plates. It's very hard to find a satisfying job. There was a survey done not too long ago that 60% of working adults are not happy and don't find their jobs meaningful. So I think that life coaching can be an enormous benefit to figuring out how to develop a plan for a new career that is reasonable and not too timely and expensive. Okay, so thank you for visiting my site, and once again, click subscribe and like my channel, and I will see you next time. Have a good evening, and thank you for watching my video.